Hello, it is Jason Train, and welcome back to Planet Coaster. So, back in Aurania Gardens, again not working on this bus station that needs to be done really badly. So part of the reason why we're putting it off, because it needs to get done. We're gonna do a little real-time portion of working on this path, and maybe a little bit out here. Of course, one of the more boring things to watch in Planet Coaster. But it does need to get done. Well, I just kind of talk for a little bit. So I'm just going to be redoing these paths completely, and just painting asphalt down, because that would probably be best for the area. So while I'm doing that, and not dying for some reason, I don't know why that's being the way it is. So, a few things. I'm astonished with all the support on the channel. Like, that's been amazing to me. Thank you. Thanks for coming to watch. Please keep watching. I mean, I've been having fun making videos. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. Oh, come on. Paths and terrain. Let me tell you. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for just continuing watching, guys, and just supporting the channel altogether. It has been tremendous fun to be making a lot of this content, and especially when Planet Coaster cooperates. So also I've been asked about a schedule, and a schedule is in the works, but it probably won't be out until, I have to say, like August or September, just based on, I'm going off to university soon, so I need to be able to pick my classes, and the schedule of the channel is actually going to be working around that, just because it's going to be when I can get the videos out to you guys. So yeah, that will come then. Also, I've said this in every video, but I'm still sharing it, because there is a Discord link down below. I love just sharing inspiration, work that I'm working on in there for this park, or just off camera, or in general, just stuff I'm doing for the sake of the channel. Also, there's notifications about when a video comes out, so within 10 minutes or so of the video coming out, it's really when it fully finishes processing, a notification will appear in the Discord saying, hey, video's out. So if you want to come out here to see it immediately when it comes out, that is the place to go. Also, just going to talk about this park for a little bit. I need to fix that up in a bit, but again, because it needs to get done, it won't get done yet. This park is, I'm just going to recap kind of what the plan is. Disney-like park, starting off with a main street, and I finally figured out what is going to be at the end of that main street. It took me who knows how long to just decide what it was going to be. It is going to be a big train station. So I've been kind of meddling with this idea in my head for a little bit now, but this does need a train line of sorts going through the area, going around the park. And my big push, in my head at least, for a train line to come through this park is so I can put up these dirt walls. I've forgotten what they're called now off the top of my head, but they're designed to keep sound, mosquitoes, all that sort of stuff out of the park. And I think that's a beautiful idea. It's a thing Disney World does, so why not use it if we're building a Disney World style park? Which also kind of brings me to some of the history of this park also. This train needs to be slightly fixed. So, for me, the way Disney started is amazing. Disneyland, specifically, how it started. It started off as just kind of Walt wanting his own train set, like full-size train set. So, he built a theme park. that just kind of gets me. I kind of relate with that. I love my trains. If you can't tell from the name of the channel, I do like trains. But, so we're kind of taking that similar approach, except for it's not a train set, even though we will have a train. We're kind of like, this guy wanted his coaster. This is, the owner of the park is some billionaire with some big corporation, whatever, and he wanted a coaster. Or he wanted a Main Street thing. Something sticking this that I haven't decided yet. So he buys a plot of land and builds this sort of main street. Also, this will need to be fixed up quite considerably. Alright, I'll do that off camera. So he buys this plot of land, builds a main street, and then it gets popular, and he's like, okay, amusement park. It needs to happen. So, amusement park is born. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. You guys tell me. Aurania Gardens, of course. This needs to be moved back a bit. So I think that's enough of a curb there. This is going to be covered over with the pavement pieces that we were using earlier. What was the piece here? I'm really bad at matching these. What? What piece is this? I bet you guys are just looking at it and like, okay, there it is. So yeah, buys this plot of land, builds this theme park around this plot of land, and yeah, goes from there. And I think that's kind of cool, just how that goes in terms of a story for the park. It's still playing off that similar Disney sort of theme. Main Street's probably going to be about this wide, maybe this wide. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And it's just going to be an intersection here, because I am lazy. It's going to continue on a little bit like that, probably. I'd say that's about 12 meters, which I think we can extend it to if I deselect the grid here. Only 10. We'll figure it out. I'll continue it on paths for 2. And that building's gonna have to get moved. In terms of what we're actually gonna get done today, just probably more of the street in general. It needs to get done. It's gonna need to be slightly wide. There's gonna be a few things involved. Alright, so this is actually the main road itself, which is very thin now I think about it. Well, there's gonna be a large amount of sidewalk involved, so it should be fine. But this will go down for quite a while itself. Oh, and also live streams on the channel. So I want to do live streams, and it would just be a good time for me to sit down, do scenery while talking to you guys. Things like plants and just buildings that need to go on this main street, for example. Also, I'm just kind of placing aimlessly at this point. So yeah, things like that need to get done that would not necessarily, it wouldn't not warrant a video, but I don't know if it would be the best thing for an entire video of me just planting plants, despite the fact that it needs to get done. Alright, I'm gonna move that building real quick. That is not how you do that. Alright, there we go. Also, it looks like it's at a slight angle, so I'm gonna figure that out in a bit. It is definitely at a slight angle. I'll figure that out when I'm doing the time-lapse portion. But yeah, that's kind of where the main street's gonna play out. We have buildings going along the sides here to a, I'm thinking kind of like Grand Central style, or there's another one I'm thinking of, not Union Station. I'll figure it out and I'll find the inspiration photos. But yeah, just kind of like that, going down the street, and then a T intersection like this one where it continues to different parts of the park. There's also a train station with trestles which connect. I'm pointing to this with my hands, but you can't see it. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the time lapse now. See ya. Alright, so we're starting work on the second building of our main street. This is also inspired from a building at Disney, as a lot of our buildings on the street will be. This one took me probably about a good 2 hours, I'm guessing. A big part of it was just the window cubicles, and you'll see those in a bit. This video has been recorded over the course of about 2 weeks. I'm sorry about how late it's coming out. This is actual recording that we're watching. The footage we're watching right now was who knows how long ago. Probably about 2 weeks ago, to be honest. Yeah, I started work last week, so it was just a matter of managing my time when I got home from work, and that just ended up me building buildings that took 2 hours a piece, or 2 to 3 hours, or playing No Man's Sky, because that update came out this week. And just a little procrastination, and I entered a coaster challenge for some dumb reason, so I started working on that, and realized it's a lot of work to build a 3,000 foot coaster. Yes, 3,000 foot, a little over half a mile, and I don't know about the size of real coasters, but that feels a little long to me. Especially fitting in such a tight space that the challenge requires you to. So, we'll see how that turns out. probably won't turn out well. So you'll see I'm adding some just kind of detailing, like cornices, I think is the word, to the roof line. The roof changes a lot, but stays the same throughout the course of this video, and it's just a matter of expanding and shrinking it. So it's just a matter of making it look good in the final result. So the actual building is brick with a blue roof, and I thought I loved that look, and I had to go with it. Also, that was a circular kind of porthole window, and I'm exploring different window options here, but I end up with this sort of square, rounded shape, and I actually kind of like it, though it's a little odd. Another thing I was pointing out the other day, or I guess, well, I don't know when I finished, sometime recently, that all my windows have a very similar accent color of being a white or an off-white. Yeah, that's true. My buildings are they're all kind of connected in that sort of manner, and the colors throughout the main street, it's done transition nicely, because each building kind of hints at the next. So we started on these, I can't remember the name, and they're not cubicles, but I guess there's the B, I don't know, but they look nice, and you see one of my new favorite pieces there is that window, the little top of it, makes a perfect little wooden plank, and it's perfect for detail. So I end up using it a lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot. If you look at the back of this building when it's done, it's a mess. It's quite the mess, and I love it. It just kind of shows how many pieces can go into one building. Although this is not going to be the most piece-filled building on this main street, because I went a little overboard on the last building, to say the least. So here's just a matter of making the top look nice as well. I'm using what I did on the bottom at the top, because the top won't be all that noticeable. So I'm just trying to fill in the layer up there while providing a little detail at the top. So I guess I think I talked about it a little bit towards the end about how this park is going to be. I want it to look fully functional and feel functional as well if you're in Tejicam mode. So roofs are finished on the inside, I guess ceilings and areas that you can see. Have little maintenance things and outlets and cables. I mean, this is going to be a Disney level park, but there's still these things that happen in them that we'll be able to capture. It's going to be a little less than Disney. I'd say it's around Universal, because Universal has a slightly lower budget for their parks than Disney does. And also they have more thrill-based rides, as they're less of a family, well, they're still a family park, but they took it at a different angle. And I kind of like how they did it a little bit more. We're going to be stealing a lot of elements from Disney, for instance this New Orleans style Main Street, and I actually quite like how it looks. We only get half of the street done today. I'm not going to build the second half next episode, don't worry about that. I'll manage to fit it in, and I'll explain a little bit about that throughout the course of this episode a little later on. But for now, we just kind of, we're making the building. I don't know, remember what happened, because again, 2 weeks ago. I'm just trying to remember a lot of it. So I detailed the pop-out windows, let's call them that now. Actually, those windows took me, who knows how long, it took me ages. And I actually end up redoing them later. You'll see it later. Oh, I was moving the wall back a little bit so I can add a little bit of a, I guess, I can't remember the Cornish, I don't know. I'm not on top of architectural terms. So I'm trying to find a way to make this look good, because the actual building has a lot of molding around the door, and I thought it looked kind of cool, so I wanted to try to emulate that in a way. So we're using these to provide a little texture, and we use the art shapes and kind of making that same off-white to fill in the gaps. So now you have these kind of border that we can fill in with stuff, for lack of a better term. And that was me admiring how many pieces were just sticking out the back. Oh no, I was trying to move them up for some reason. I don't remember why or where they were going, but they were going somewhere. It's just oh, I was gonna add a little texture above the door, so I need to create space, and also a matter of scale. See, there's no orchard there, so I'm kind of just working off of how I think it's gonna look, and I think I hit scale pretty well. Most of these buildings on the street, they're slightly large, but that's good for the style of park we're doing. They're slightly large, not Planco large, but they're slightly large. And it's usually a larger first floor with a smaller second floor. You'll see that. So that's my building. And third floors are just kind of like, if the building has a third floor, it's kind of chopped off. But again, force perspective fixed all that, so it's fine. And you'll see, we leave the backs of all these buildings open. It's got there's gonna be a coaster behind that. I think I've spoken about that. I'm not going to speak about it again. I will speak about it more later on the episode, because it was recorded before this. I am a mess right now. And this building's going to change a lot in the snap between this and the next clip. So, yeah, it's going to get a little bit of a facelift, which it will need, because I really sit there feeling like it's missing something, which it was. And I actually ended up adding these really nice little lights to it. I don't remember whether it's before or after this shot, but I really liked how those came out. I really liked them. Alright, I'll see you in the next portion. So from here on out, in this episode, we're going to be taking it from a slightly different format. I'm going to make a building, and I'm going to show it to you guys, just because I want to get most of the buildings to this main street done in this episode, and doing it in a time-lapse format would take 10 episodes, because it's about an hour to 3 per building. This one was quite a bit of work. You guys saw a lot of work on it, and I showed it in the Bro Nation Discord, and I got some feedback, so I redid some little bits of it and added some windows, and I think it looks much better now. These little lights, they are 4 different light pieces if I remember correctly, and they make a nice little stand using them. So one of my new favorite things in this game is to use the light pieces as decoration, because they work really well. And it's proportionate in scale. It's not going to be next to this building here at all. Here, I'll show you. I mean, but it can fit next to it if we wanted to, but it's not the one that's going to be next to it from the plan. But yeah, from here on out, I'm going to make a building off camera and then show it to you guys. Just a little recap. They'll be able to get this episode done quicker, and we'll be able to get all these buildings out of the way. So, see you guys with the next building. Alright guys, so I just finished this little building here. It's just another building down the road, doesn't quite have a purpose yet. Some will, some won't. That's all to be determined. They'll probably need another pass in the future, but this one I didn't like for a while, but it's kind of grown on me now that I've done a little bit of work to it. It also has a nighttime look, which is that little lantern there. And I kind of like it directs the eyes towards that door of nothingness. But there's the potential there'll actually be a shop in this one, because I might put it on the other side of the street. So basically, buildings on this side of the street will probably have shops and that sort of stuff. Buildings on this side of the street, possibility of a shop, but there's going to be a coaster behind them. The plan is there's going to be a coaster here, bridge, warehouse, with the coaster inside. It's going to be a dark ride coaster. I know in the past I spoke about doing a square. Let me tell you, these 3 buildings in total, probably at least 10 hours. Just the amount of finicking I've done. 10 hours is probably exaggeration. 7. This took 3. This took 2. This has taken, I haven't counted, I would say 1 to 2. So yeah, around 7. But yeah, we'll just do a big warehouse building that's kind of be a little, not artsy, but what's the word? Abstract city. And do it through like neon and light up, and it's going to be cool. Be kind of like the Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't remember much about the Rock and Roller Coaster. Verbolten, how it does those lighting there. So we'll probably run something similar to that. And that will leave us a cool little walkway here or so, or here, wherever it ends up being, for us to put a backstage area. And I think that's going to look kind of cool, because the city is going to end off right around here. We'll probably just do some sort of fencing, not fencing, and I should have muted my phone. But we'll put some sort of cap on this end. Might actually cut part of this building down, do it maybe to there, and we'll put something along this edge, and this whole area back here is gonna be backstage stuff. We could do floats. That has crossed my mind. There's gonna need to be restrooms, isn't there? Now that I think about it. I thought about just like having a float warehouse like they do at Disney. Ooh, a hotel at the end. That was the plan. A hotel. A small hotel, a very expensive hotel. Kind of like how they do at Disney. I really should stop taking everything from Disney in this terms park. Like, this is a replica of a building. Both of these were inspirations from Main Street. So, inspired by Main Street. Although, I can't say they're the same Main Street. I can't seem to find this one anymore. Oh, I don't know if I said it, but I made the windows smaller in that one. I really do have to thank the Bro Nation community. They've been giving me really helpful feedback into making this look nice. Also, it was really hard to find a cap, so I took a firework launcher inside of a sign, and that's the cap for those, and it looks good from down here. From up close, it looks a little wonky, but you're not going to be up close, so it's fine. There's no way onto the second floor. No way at all to get here. Alright, we're going to get into the next building now. Hey guys, I'm back. I've just finished this building. By just, I mean a few days ago. Yeah, the timeline of this episode's gotten a little crazy. So we're only going to do one more building in this episode, which will be corner one right here. Also, you can see back here, I've just kind of placed down a rough idea of what the coaster will look like. It probably will not look like this in the end, just thinking about it. This would be where the transfer track would be. The thing I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to curve it here and then transfer track and station like that, storage like that. I've been looking at a lot of reference images and stuff like that, and looking at other people's series and a whole slew of stuff. So that's how that's going to play out, probably. Just kind of thinking about it now. This coaster will be in a big old warehouse-like building right here. And this will also kind of just be a warehouse with some facades on the side. And we'll find a way to do a queue eventually. But it's supposed to be the Chief Beef police chase. I'm sitting here. I don't know how I'm gonna theme that queue. So we'll just about see, I guess. Alright, so we'll see you in the next building. Alright guys, so we're back. We have this nice building finished here in front of us. Yeah, his inspiration was directly from New Orleans. I'll remember to put up a picture, hopefully I remember to, of the actual inspiration. And I pulled that instead of the other ones, which are from Main Street Disney. So, Main Street USA and Magic Kingdom. I also fixed up some of these buildings, so I fixed up the pillars on that one. I fixed up the sight lines here. So now the pillars are nicer and cleaned up a little. I feel like there's something else I was supposed to do. If you guys remember what it is, let me know in the comment section. Also, I don't remember if I save it or not. I put a little no steamy green ladder right here. So, I mean, you can't see it anyways because of the sight lines, but it's still there. It makes me happy. That's what matters, right? So this building is relatively simple on the first floor. Not much to talk about, just some simple windows and all that. And actually, the progress of this building was really interesting. So I built the walls, and I built with in-game roofs first, and then built the tower. So the tower took me a few tries to get the exact look I wanted up here. I ended up with these little vent things, which is what the actual building has. And they were originally like little manhole covers, because I'm like, oh, it's just a weird circle, I'll put a weird circle up there. But after talking to some people in the Bro Nation community, this is what we came up with would look best there, a little vent. Up here, I put this here because it's what it looks like. It's one of those spinning things on top of roofs. I can't remember what they're called. I think they're for ventilation. So I put one up here because that's also what the building has, and I think it looks kind of nice. Just some various little bits and bobs sticking out of the ceiling. I have this up here, which actually has, in the real building, has a little roof here, but I didn't feel like building another custom roof. So I just put one of these on. And there's also another ventilation thing here. I couldn't get the vents to work, so we just left it blue. Might get rid of that. So this roof was actually a planka roof for a while, but I ended up turning it into a custom roof. Just because of how things were interacting with each other, it just needed to be a custom roof. So, you know, that's part of the reason why this building's 3,000 pieces. And it's slightly bigger than some of the other buildings, but it's still more pieces than that one. I think it's bigger than all of them combined in terms of piece count, part count. I used the vintage pillars, but I customized the bottoms to look like it had this bottom at the bottom because I wanted that there, but I didn't want it. And I ended up using these a lot. 3 of the buildings have them, so yeah, I like the piece, but I used it a little too much. Don't tell anyone. The windows are all just base game windows. I got to the point where no more custom windows, please, and I ended up doing custom windows and some custom door framing and stuff like that. I really gotta remember to not custom build some things that can be done in-game easily, because again, I'm hitting high part counts in some of these buildings that don't need to be as high part count as they are. Also, this custom roof looks disgusting up close, but from a distance it looks nice. I also took into account, because I really want this to look like a functional park, look and feel like one. So some of these shingles are misplaced in various places, not by much, and they're slightly different shades, but very similar. Since it is a higher scale park like Disney, I decided there's not going to be too many messed up shingles, and the ones that are messed up won't be messed up by much, like little bits like that. But nothing too crazy, because if it gets to a point where it might become dangerous, they would go up and replace it immediately, because it's this higher level park. But in higher places like here, it would be less likely, for one thing, that they would notice, and second, that they would actually spend the money to get someone up there in the liability. So a lot more of these shingles are messed up, and a little bit more so in some places, and they're a little bit more of a mess. So I kind of tried to take that into account. I do want to take this park in that direction of being very realistic and feeling functional and looking functional. That being said, this is getting a redo. I mean, these might stay for a while, but I do want to redo them either way, just because I've learned so much since I built them. So they actually kind of disgust me in some ways now. This flower bed is going to stay. This is completely redone. Instead of having this go into a tunnel, we're going to have a massive parking lot right here. We're actually going to start on that next episode. So the tram's going to loop around like a Disney and just go along that way, and we're actually going to have ticket booths, and it's going to come off this main road, because this main road is going to follow the tram up along like that, and go to various ticket boothing options. And also the bus station will go over here, and a monorail, because I want a monorail. It's simple as that. We're going to build a monorail. So there's going to be a monorail right around here. I think the bus station's going to be a little further down. And the monorail is going to go off the map and come back with people in it, sort of thing. Kind of like how this does as it is. I don't know how that's going to work, because there's no mountains in the area. We'll figure that out eventually. We'll figure it out. And I want to do a monorail and train storage, like over here somewhere. Just to keep things interesting. Monorail actually just might come this way, instead of going a walk that way. That probably might be the best option. What I want it to do is actually kind of loop around the main street. But I don't know about the realisticness of that. Because the sightlines would be horrible. You'd be able to see right on, because this is going to be a warehouse-like building. So you'll be able to see right onto that warehouse. I don't know if that's good. We'll figure that out in the future. It might just loop around this section and come out. That probably would be the best. Yeah, and block the sightline of that building, probably. Yeah, I think that's what we'll go for. Yeah. And in terms of planning this area, I think I'm going to do a restroom right here, and we're going to have a small backstage area that opens up to a larger backstage area. This is going to close off around here with a hotel right here, a luxury hotel, and some more guest services inside the park, probably. And then there's going to be a backstage area here with a little peninsula, I guess, into this. So the warehouse is going to be square connection that completely blocks off the road, and over it's a bridge connection, which will have the track going through it. Is the plan. And it's going to be an indoor dark ride, as we've spoken about before. Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be an indoor dark ride, though. That's the final verdict. No one can change my mind. Actually, if you can change my mind, good on you. Go for it in the comments. So, that being said, that is the end of this video. I'm not ready to do a cinematic yet, even though we have gotten some work done. I want to get the other side done. Oh, hello. There's a time. So what's going to happen is the other buildings along this side will be something at the end of each episode, potentially, depending on how I'm feeling. It might end up being every other episode, because frankly, each one of these buildings is an episode's length to build. They're like 3 hours apiece. So they're a little lengthy. It's going to be the same way I've been doing it as it is. But I am actually quite happy with how they're turning out. They're looking very nice. Their high park counts them around, I think now we're around 5,000 maybe, and on these few guys, because 3,000, 500, 500, 500, 500, yeah, around 5,000. And these are really simple compared to them now. This is only 29 parts. Oh, it's 127. It was 29. Something was 29. This is 181. 163. See, things are getting slowly more and more complicated as from when we built them in the park, and I think that's kind of cool, because this shows my learning in the game, and I think that's awesome. But we're going to redo a lot of this, and even though it was only a month ago. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Join me in the next one, whenever that comes out. I'm thinking Wednesdays will be the time of Aurania Gardens, but that's not set in stone until I start university, because I want to get a feeling of how my schedule is going to work there before I set anything in stone for here. But Wednesdays for now, I think, is what I'm thinking. But that's not guaranteed. But potentially Wednesdays. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.